I was dumb, okay? I was very, very dumb, and I figured, this IMVU service is being advertised everywhere. There's got to be something to this. It's got to be something that's at least somewhat stimulating and engaging. So why not? I installed the program. For those of you who don't know, IMVU is basically AIM with little sim people that you can interact with, and there's little emoticons that allow your little character that you make to do like little sexy dances and like rub up against all the other people on IMVU, and I think that's where the real thrill of it comes in. It's for either underage people who don't get a lot of social interaction in real life, or old people who this is unfair. Let me start over. That was very crude of me. That was very uncalled for. IMVU to me is an IM service that is mixed up with a bunch of really weird, sick people. I'm sure there's plenty of wonderful people on IMVU that are fun to talk to, that are great people overall, great normal people, but from what I have gathered from the chat now option, you're not going to find a lot of those people on there unless, some of your friends are using this service. And I guess this is true of all like chat now services like chat roulette or whatever. You always end up running into these sick people who basically want to throw out their dick and be like, suck it, right in front of you. And you've got to pretty much keep your backbone up and say, no. Actually, I've never had a guy tell me to suck their dick yet. It's more, the female side of things. Or the supposed female that is disguised. It's a male in disguise. It's a Cylon, basically. They're not really female. Because using this feature, the conversations go into two categories. The first category is that the person signs out immediately when they see that you aren't a chick. They don't like what they see, and so they immediately log out because they know either A, you're going to be talking and they don't like actually talking to people, or B, you're not going to be getting into their cyber pants, and so they just don't care. This is very upsetting, especially when you're, trying to find a chat partner and you figure, this chat feature on this IM, service is used for chatting. It's not used for, screwing. It isn't called Screw Now. This is for people to talk. Or at least, I guess, if you just wanted to talk to people, you just use a normal IM service. I guess that's where the philosophy comes in. And you wouldn't have, like, the sexy cartoon avatars, which really aren't all that sexy, by the way. They look like really bad cartoon characters. I don't understand where people get off on this. And it's unfair of me to say this, but I literally had 3 female characters, and I say characters because you honestly don't know who's on the other end, literally come up to me on this service. We chat for about 3 or 4 sentences back and forth, and finally they're like, so do you want to have some fun? And it's when they're not talking about, playing poker or playing Missile Command or whatever the hell kind of weird games they have on this service. No, they're talking about obviously having weird cyber sex. And of course my response is, no. For one thing, they're probably a guy. You know perfectly well that they're a guy because or they're that girl who's just doing the curiosity thing. And if they are doing the curiosity thing, they're probably not of age, which is disturbing in and of itself. And for one thing, I don't see the jolliness of, having one-night flings. They're not even one-night flings, but having one-message stands with people over chat services. I don't get it. It doesn't really tickle my fancy. I guess not on this service. I'll admit, when I was younger, this sort of thing would have been much more appealing to me. I'll admit I was, seduced by some things on Gaia Online when I was younger. But now, looking at this whole thing, what the hell is wrong with you people? You don't even know me. You don't even know. There's nothing on my profile that says, I want to do you over the internet. There's nothing that says that. So why do they freaking go up to you and are like, do you want to take a ride, cowboy? And I'm just like, for the love of God, no, I don't. It is not sexy. It isn't anything. And e-flirting is different. Okay, I am totally in support of e-flirting because, you know, it's all in the sake of fun. Or at least when I do it, it is. You know, when you flirt with a girl through an IM service, it's just like flirting in real life with like some chick you met at the bar. You know, there's no real guilt to that because you aren't just like straight out screwing them. I am one of those people though. I am not against like recreational sex. Like, I personally don't want to do it because I know I'm too much of a wimp and, you know, there's the risk of STDs and such. But, you know, people live their lives the way they want to. And, you know, if you want to go around, you know, screwing people and having fun screwing people, okay, fine. That's great with me. But to just, like, be so open about it without knowing whether the person on the other end is even interested in taking it in your ass, that's something else. That is something that is reaching the very bottom of the bottom low. And you have to look at society as a whole. You've got to look around and go, what the hell is wrong with us, really, some of us, that we just end up becoming so shallow, so completely shallow. You would rather have a really awkward sexual encounter with somebody that, you know, isn't nearly as stimulating as any sort of porn or anything else that you can find on the internet, then have a real conversation. And it's not really a real conversation. It's basically two people typing back and forth at each other. But still, that's more of a real social interaction than whatever the hell that they were doing. And I actually managed to turn one of these girls around who's supposedly a computer programmer and lives in South Africa and a bunch of other little facts that are probably not true, as is the case with most of these supposed cyber women that immediately want to jump into your pants and are like, you want to have some fun, cowboy? No, do not believe anything they say for 1 second, because most likely it is some tubby nerdy guy with zits all over his face like me and thick rimmed glasses who's probably getting his jollies off from this. And do not ho his jollies. Do not do it. Do not support that. Be completely calm and serene like me and be like, no way, man. I am waiting for the real pussy, not the cyber pussy. I am getting very crude right now, but when you're faced with crude circumstances in life, I've got to say it to you people, like, a word is just a word, obviously, and I have thrown across a lot of crude words amongst my time blogging on here. But sometimes there's a level of crudeness where you just go above and beyond the call and you just sort of become pathetic. And for me, just jumping into people's pants on these sorts of services, if you're a grown person, if you've gotten past the pure curiosity stage of sexuality, is very sad. And I'm saddened about the fact that I didn't have any other experiences on IMVU than people trying to unzip my cyber pants. It's a very sad thing, and I've got to let you guys go now because I have more constructive things to do, like play as an imaginary cowboy in a video game, and oh great, that isn't constructive either. You know, it's funny that I would say this, that it's pathetic to have cyber sex with somebody online that you don't even know is female, but it's okay in Mass Effect if I want to have sexual relations with the blue skin chick in the video game because she's just a program and it's fulfilling some kind of inner fantasy of mine. That's a very interesting topic, actually. Why is one okay and one not okay? You know what? I think I should talk about that another night. That will be very much fun. All right, talk to you guys later. Mwah. And by the way, I should not be giving you e-kisses anymore after this because, you know, that makes me a hypocrite.